Okay. Okay. If you have a federal civil service employee, if you were a federal civil service employee when you entered the service, you should apply for your old job to the chief of the personnel branch in the agency in which you were employed within 90 days. If you are still qualified, you can get your job back or one of like seniority status and pay. If the federal agency for which you worked have been abolished, you should contact the U.S. Civil Service Commission, Washington 25, D.C., or one of its regional offices for information. If you work for a state, county, or city where when you entered the service, these employers are not required by federal law to provide for reemployment of veterans. However, most states follow the recommendations of Congress, and many states have passed laws which guarantee you your old job or a job of similar seniority, status, and pay. See members See a member of your local draft board as soon as possible for advice in your particular case. And that was page 35. Okay, 36. Do you want a new job? Question. If so, the United States Employment Service, USES, is ready to assist you. I must not be anymore. The USES is a nationwide organization that helps people get jobs. Its service is free. An information part of the USES is that Veterans Employment Service and Employment Council Service. In each local USES office, there is maintain a Veterans Employment Representative who gives special attention to the employment of veterans. Get in touch with any one of its local offices when you leave the service. You will be helped in getting a job in your community or in any place where there may be a need for a person of your abilities. Oh, the reason why I'm laughing is if this was so off, I hadn't got enough tried. Okay, let me see. Then it says, this section is, do you want a government job? In seeking a new civil service job, veterans separated under honorable conditions are entitled to special consideration and preferences. This applies in some cases to the wives of disabled veterans and provided they are not remarried to the widows of veterans. There are local civil service secretaries located in all the larger what is that thing is? Sorry, my brain. I got a visitor and my uh, brain just elapsed. Parentheses, first and second class, close parentheses, post offices who can advise you're considering government employment. Also, the nearest United States em, Employment Service office will obtain full details for you or put you in touch with the proper authorities. I'm supposed to have been doing it now, and I wasn't a vet and everything, and I, I guess it's just the area I'm living in. Okay, and I'm older. Do you want apprenticeship training? Do you want apprentice training? I'll see now. Okay, almost all of the apprentice training programs in the United States offer opportunities to returning veterans. You may be employed as an apprentice or paid as you learn. Parentheses, in some instances, additional payment may be paid under the GI Bill of Rights, in parentheses, getting not only a steady job, but training which prepares you for skilled jobs. Age restrictions and other limitations are lifted for you in many cases. Information may be obtained through the nearest United States Employment Service office or the nearest office of the Veterans Administration. And that's page number 37. And it's almost a quarter through. Okay, now it has a blue page and it says your GI Bill of Rights. Then it has an illustration with people in 1950 dress. Big poster says GI Bill of Rights. Has two women in the front. Both have hats. One has a bigger hat than the little bitty hat. And then two men. And you're like standing behind them looking at this illustration of the Bill of Rights. Okay. And then we go to page 40, and there's a little bitty illustration of a man and a woman in a city. And the city looks like New York, and I'm going by the building that's beside the woman. Okay. And this section says general. Okay. This law, known as the Serviceman's Readjustment Act of 1944 or Public Law 346, 78th Congress has amended affect your rights as a veteran in many ways. For example, it authorized the Constitution of additional hospital facilities for the construction of additional sorry, something just got me on my toe. Oh, give me a second. Okay. Got it. Okay. Construction of additional hospital facilities for veterans and provide that there shall be an effective employment placement service for veterans. However, this booklet will give you only a brief summary of its more important provisions which you as a veteran should know. There are the education, guarantee of loans, readjustment allowances, and the review of discharge provisions. Okay, basic requirements. To the to be entitled to the education or training, guaranteed loans, and the readjustment allowance provision of the GI Bill of Rights, you must meet two general requirements. These are number one, you must have been separated from active service under conditions other than dishonorable, and number two, you must have had at least 90 days of active service, part of which occurred on or after 16 September 1940 and before the end of the war. Or if you had less than 90 days of service, you must have been discharged due to a service incurred injury or disability. Huh. Yeah, but the war didn't stop until 1948, and this is 46, so interesting about how it didn't this didn't go in effect, and well, it was in effect but then not in effect. Okay, let me try this. Education and training. Provided you meet the basic requirements given above, you are entitled to education or training under the GI Bill of Rights for a period of 1 year plus the time you were in active service after 15th of September 1940 and before the end of the war. You must initiate such education or training not later than 4 years after your separation from active service or 4 years after the end of the war, whichever date is the later. Paragraph, parenthesis, if you enlist or re-enlist before the 6th of October 1946, for you, the end of the war means the end of this enlistment. End of parentheses. No course of education or training can exceed 48 months in length. Parentheses, this may mean as much as 5.5 ordinary school years of education for you, nor can it extend beyond 9 years after the end of the war. Such course of education or training must be full-time or the equivalent thereof of part-time training as you may elect. Okay? And I'm going to stop right here because I'm, as they say on the radio, on a hard break. And I'm going to pick up this in a second. You are listening to Lore's blog. My name is Loretta Nash, and I am reading from Going Back to Civilian Life, Army, War and Navy Departments, February 1946. And I'll be back in just a bit.